Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to a channel and welcome back to another issue of Mortal Realms magazine. As per usual, if you like these videos, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel and drop a comment down below. It is greatly appreciated. Now, we're on issue 38 this week, so we have some new Night Taunt models. We have Crawlock the Jailer and a couple of Chain Ghasts as well. Very nice models. I'm quite looking forward to painting up these as well, I must admit. There's just something about them that looks pretty cool. They're pretty detailed. They have a pretty cool history behind them as well. We also get another battle mat as well, so this will expand your battles and everything like that as well to keep you going for a lot longer in your games. And then of course now we get to jump into the magazine. So it's issue 38, as I've already said. So we're greeted by the Night Taunt Chain Ghasts. So of course, Chain Ghasts are the cursed spirits of condemned prisoners. Facing a terrible doom, they turned to the gods for aid. As they pleaded, these poor wretches failed to include Nagash in their prayers, sealing their fate. As punishment, the great necromancer sentenced these mortals to eternal imprisonment, binding them in manacles and chains of iron secured by enchanted padlocks. So, as we've kind of come to learn with a lot of the kind of histories and the kind of lore behind certain creatures and certain Night Haunt units, Nagash is not a forgiving sort. He is a very vengeful god, and one of his ways of kind of casting vengeance against mortals that have wronged him is to kind of turn them into Night Haunt and have them kind of in a predicament where they won't like it, they won't enjoy it, and torture their spirits and their souls. So, for the Chain Ghasts, they are prisoners that have been kind of sentenced to death, and in their kind of their run up to death, they have pleaded for aid from the gods, whether that be Sigmar, whether that be Grimnir, or even Tyrion or Teclis or anyone like that. But they fail to kind of think of Nagash because he's the god of death. So, as he is quite a vengeful god, he has taken their spirits, bound them in these manacles and these irons, and kind of turned them into Chain Ghasts. He does very much the same with a lot of other creatures like Chain Rasps and a lot of other bits and pieces as well. So he's very malicious in his kind of punishments and these celestial forms and everything like that. So he, not one to piss off, in all honesty. So the Chain Ghasts are very kind of cool looking models. They carry these big blocks of these irons, so these flails that they use as weapons, whether they can be thrown or whether they can be kind of used as melee weapons, and they all generally tend to be in these iron masks, shielded from view so they cannot kind of exist in a very nice way. But with Chain Ghasts, so all Chain Ghasts are bound to serve a single spirit torment. So spirit torments are the masters in Nagash's dungeon, the Great Oubliette, and these cruel guys are responsible for hunting down and capturing the souls of those who have angered the Great Necromancer. So a spirit torment is kind of like your jailer essentially, and they are always kind of flanked and they lead along these Chain Ghasts who are the prisoners. So pretty cool stuff. Very nice bit of lore to do with the Night Haunt as well. Very worth having a good read through it all and enjoying through that bit. Then going into the actual history of the realms, we've got the Realmgate Wars, and this is the battle for the Brimstone Peninsula. So long had Sigmar planned his vengeance against the Dark Gods. With his Stormcast Eternals finally prepared for war, liberation of the mortal realms could begin. On the fiery plains of Akshi's Brimstone Peninsula, the heavenly hosts descended on bolts of celestial lightning. The Realmgate Wars had begun. So, in Sigmar's kind of plans and his grand plan to restore order to the mortal realms, the Brimstone Peninsula was selected as one of the very first targets. It held a gate of Azir, which had been sealed by Sigmar at the dawn of the Age of Chaos. So, towards the end of the Age of Myth and going into the Age of Chaos, Sigmar sealed up all these these realm gates that led to Azir, so we barred the way into Azir. to stop Khorne and any of the other vile, verminous dark gods getting into his land, into the realm of Azir. When he sent forth the good old Stormcast Eternals, they struck in certain kind of strategic places that were very, very linked to Azir and very, very kind of where they needed to be, essentially. And then they started fighting back for hordes of chaos through all of that. So you got a nice bit of the history and lore there behind a lot of the Age of Chaos and some of the important kind of battles, and it includes some very important characters. So Lord Celestant of the Hammerhands warrior chamber, Vandus Hammerhand, who led the Hammers of Sigmar in their assault on Akshi. So you've got him involved in it. You've got Korgos Kul, Lord of the Gortide and a dedicated follower of Khorne. Korgos Kul is amongst the most feared and deadly of Khorne's mortal followers. So an agent of chaos as well, detailed in there as well. So it's really, really cool, really, really nice read as well. So it's definitely worth having a flick through that. Then, because we're kind of dishing more information about this chaos, we've got a page about Skaven. So the Skaven are, of course, cunning, devious and cruel. The Skaven are a race of ratmen who gnaw their way through the mortal realms, spreading terror and ruin in the name of their god, the Great Horned Rat. These crazed creatures exist in terrifying numbers and are a threat to every living being in the mortal realms. So the artwork for this kind of picture as well is a Storm Fiend with a Grey Seer on top, obviously inspired by Thanquol and Bone Ripper, who are Grey Seer, Thanquol and Bone Ripper, which, if you're interested in hearing about stuff about Skaven, read Skaven Slayer, the Gotrek and Felix book, and good old Thanquol does appear also in Demon Slayer as well, which I've only just finished and is really, really good fun. It's all based in the world that was as well, in the old world. So there's a lot of different lands and stuff that's not mentioned in any of the Age of Sigmar stuff, because it's set before that and everything like that. But it's really, really good stuff. And for Skaven are pretty cool. They're pretty funny. They also have some really cool stuff. So they have, of course, they have different clans. There are 13 different clans in all, but there are 5 great clans. So the great clans are clans Verminous, which are the warlike and their strength is in the teeming swarms of warriors. Clan Scryer. The clan Scryer possesses many warlocks who craft deadly engines powered by raw warpstone. Clans Eshin, who work in the shadows and are masters of assassination and sabotage. Clans Pestilence. The clans Pestilence are the disciples of decay and disease. They seek nothing less than a final rotting of the mortal realms. And Clans Moulder. The Clans Moulder are the beast masters of the Skaven and create horrific abominations to loose upon the field of battle. So, 5 different clans. You can get some really cool models for each of them. So, Clan Scryer, you get things like Stormfiends, you get the Warplock engines and stuff like that as well, which are really, really cool to have. Clans Pestilence, you get, of course, for Plague Monks, and you can also have things like the Screaming Bell and the Plague Furnace and stuff like that. And then, of course, all of them have they were normally bolstered by members of Clans Verminous, which are just your regular Storm Vermin and your Skaven slaves and stuff like that. And they do travel through gnaw holes, which are kind of warpstone powered teleportation devices where they can get between realms as well as different areas as well, which only the Skaven can really use and survive through. Warpstone, if you didn't know, is kind of condensed chaos magic, and the Skaven use it to power their inventions, and they also consume it as well for their Grey Seers and their magical units as well. They also drop some of it in some of the Pestilence stuff as well to make it more potent as well, so, which is pretty cool stuff. And you get some really good stories, as I say, in the Gotrek and Felix books. There are some really cool bits about Skaven, and yeah, there's a few other book novels out there that have some really cool, interesting stories to do with them. Your How to Build guide, of course, You have multiple options for the heads with these new models, so you can get some pretty cool different looks if you wish to, and you also have some bits and pieces that you can decorate the bottom of the base as well, depending on how you want to do it. Have fun with them, it's pretty cool. How to paint section, it's just a standard fare for Night Haunt. It's fairly easy, you can't go wrong if you're following it. If you do follow it, in all honesty, they don't look too bad. I mean, this painting section is massive in this issue, but you'll get these kind of interesting looks. I'm not too keen on that Spirit Torment. I think it doesn't look quite right, personally, but it is down to everyone's opinion. I would paint it slightly differently, personally, and I probably will, in all honesty. Then you got the War Scroll for the Chain Ghasts, so they of course have them Ghast Flails, which they can fling, and so they can use it as a ranged attack, and they can also use it as a melee weapon as well. They can fly, and they are ethereal as well, so they are pretty cool, and they are pretty neat, decent, so definitely worth having a read through that. And then you've got the actual how everything works, the sweeping blows and stuff like that. The battle plan is for Battle of Summersong, which is a bit different, really cool. Again, pitting your Stormcast up against Night Haunts and stuff like that as well. So you, as per usual, your Night Haunt outnumber your Stormcast, but Stormcast are a lot tougher, so they can kind of puncture through the Night Haunt ranks. And then on to next week's issue, we have Cairn Wraith coming, which, yeah, not too bad. One figure, but it's not too bad. It's a nice Cairn Wraith. It is a slightly older model and an older sculpt, but put on a more regular base. Not too bad, pretty decent. Issue 40, where we get a Knight Azeroth. I'm kind of looking forward to having this. It's a nice model. Yeah, could be really good fun to paint up that bugger. But we have some news about the future of the magazine. So, in the future of the magazine, so from issue 41, we'll be entering the realm of metal. So, this will include new models, of course, new paints, and some more new exciting battle plans. So from issue 41, we will get a new battle mat for us to use in games of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. This battle mat is covered in highly detailed printed terrain, showing the metallic wastelands of Shaman. From issue 41 onwards, we will also venture into the realm of metal, battling across magical floating islands and shifting plains split by rivers of molten metal. So, you've also got the reverse side as well, so it's kind of explaining how this reverse side is going to work, so of how you can kind of expand your realms and have bigger armies, bigger battles and everything like that. So from issues 4, 18 and from this issue, you can get a pretty cool look. Go with them. And that's it, really. So, in all honesty, in the future, we are going to get some really cool new models. We're going to get some pretty cool new Stormcasts. We are going to get some really cool new Night Haunt models. We're going to get more scenery from the looks of it as well. Which, yeah, I'm alright with having scenery. I'm just, you know, I've got loads of it and nowhere to put it now. I'm kind of running out of space for it all. So, but yeah, that generally tends to be the way I think with this magazine. Right, I've kept you all long enough. Thank you very much for watching. As per usual though, if you have enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you don't subscribe already. Come on, it's easily done. Just click that button and let me know what you're thinking down below. Drop me a comment. I do reply to every comment as fast as I possibly can, and I do reply to all of them, in all honesty. So, right, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye bye now.